Hey, you guys. Welcome to the pod today. We're just going to start off talking about some relevant stuff. Did you watch the Super Bowl, Kenny?
I did, yeah.
What'd you think?
It was a good game. On Twitter and various other social media profiles, people have been commenting that the Super Bowl is fixed and the NFL is fixed.
No.
And I don't know, there's a lot of supporting evidence. There was a super weird holding call that basically kind of gave the Chiefs a second go at it and gave them life, and then they ended up winning. And it seems like that there's always these very controversial defensive holding calls at the end of games that extend drives. And so there's a lot of people that truly believe that the NFL is fixed. And to that I say, I don't believe it, but it's like, oh, it's hard. The evidence is very overwhelming because it's like every time that the team that you think the NFL would want to win because it's a better storyline, every time that something needs to happen, it seems to happen in the form of defensive holding. And Eagles fans have a right to be pretty upset this morning.
Jeez. Yeah, I bet they're feeding off this controversy. Ooh.
And Eagles fans don't need much to go wild. I saw that they flipped a car in Philadelphia before the game. Yeah. I was like, it's a little much. You guys didn't even lose yet, and you just flipped the car. So, yeah, no need to go back to Philly for me.
It doesn't matter if they lose. If they win, they are rioting in the streets. Like,
yeah. Win, lose, or tie, the riot is on.
It's terrifying. I love that, though. To the people of Philadelphia, thank you for having so much charisma.
And thank you for listening to the pod. Please don't unsubscribe just because we think that you're animals.
We think you're wild, but we like it. That's funny. Did you watch Rihanna?
I did, yeah. It was funny. My wife and I went over a friend's house, and then for the first few minutes, we were just talking about. My wife seems to think that she's been pregnant for 2 years, and we had to tell her, hey, it's not possible.
This is baby number 2.
Yeah, but baby number 2. So I thought it was cool. It was a weird choice of backup dancers to me. They kind of looked like the people that would come and enforce like a COVID lockdown. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
What are these COVID dudes doing, like dancing around and they're suspended in the air? I'm like, yeah. So it was good. It was good to see Rihanna out there. I did Google her net worth and it said 1.4 billion. And to that, I would say, is she the first billionaire that has performed at the Super Bowl?
Billion?
She's
a billionaire. I mean, that doesn't surprise me, but I seem to be shocked.
And crazy interesting that the Super Bowl halftime performers do not get paid. In fact, I believe that they actually have to pay for their production. So
no.
Yes. But I looked at Google Trends this morning, and the brand Fenty, which is her brand and how she accumulated most of her net worth, the search trend for Fenty is hyperbolic through the roof. So she probably made it back tenfold than what they would give her. You know, she could probably command $1 million to play somewhere. So very, very interesting that there's other reasons to do the free work at the Super Bowl.
I'm super involved in the Fenty success. I am a large part of their traffic.
No way, really?
I love her shit. Yeah, so it's like she does like lingerie and clothes, and then she does like a hardcore makeup brand, and it's awesome. So good for you, Rihanna. If you're listening, Rihanna.
Yeah, if you're one of our 111 listeners, like, good job.
Fuck yeah, Rihanna. Thanks for being here. So funny. I want to get into someone else in the same world as us, Trip Actions. We're familiar with Trip Actions, and recently I've been seeing they rebranded. They did a rebranding, and I have mixed feelings about it.
I have mixed feelings about it too. I think it's a part of a larger strategy. I think that they're going to be going public, and they don't want to go public as a travel company. They want to go public as a B2B a B2B expense company is, I think, what they want to be seen as. So I think this rebrand to Navan is a little bit them trying to get away from travel. But what do you think about the name Navan?
Stop. Navon sounds like the type of guy that my dad would never let me date. You know what I mean? Like, like Navon is like trouble, you know, like
we're not sure Navon has a clean record.
Yeah. Navon's like fresh out the clamor. Is that what you call it? The clamor, the jammer,
the joint,
prison.
Navon's been to prison.
I don't know. I just think, I totally get trying to like get away from a travel centric name if that's your goal to like expand a little bit. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. Navon sounds like maybe like an artist you would really you'd like listening to, you know, but I'm not sure about a company name.
Yeah. I thought, so first of all, they're really successful. They have tons of clients. I think their last valuation was something along the lines of $9 billion. And so that's pretty incredible. And they built an amazing business. So if you've built an amazing business and have raised buku amount of money, go call yourself whatever you want, to be honest.
Our words today.
Our words are
a bakudo amount.
A bakudo amount. Yeah. Just go do whatever you want. You built an amazing business. You did the thing. Call yourself Navon and have a day of it. And they definitely have. It's been everywhere. I see them on LinkedIn. Congrats to the team. Rebranding is tough, but we'll poke a little bit of fun at you because it's easy to punch up, right?
Yes. So we are not ripping on you guys. We're just ripping on the name. The business.
I will kind of rip on the RIP bad software hashtag that they had. I don't know so much about that one. I was like, RIP bad software. Are you retiring your own software? Are you saying that you're going to kill other people's software? I didn't quite get that one. But I'm a little bit of like a marketing and a messaging nerd. When they did the whole RIP bad software, like rest in peace, bad business software. And I'm like, I think they're really trying to get away from being seen as a travel company. And they're really trying desperately to be seen as like an expense business enterprise software. And I hear that their expense tooling is actually pretty good. So RIP bad software. It's not what I would have done, but
they've been really pumping out the marketing on this Navon thing. That's mainly why we have to talk about it today, is because every time I open my phone, like I feel like I'm seeing a new bizarre Navon ad. But, you know, good for them. Round 2 of this whole thing. Like you said, if you're making billions of dollars, you can do whatever you want.
Do it. You guys have crushed it. You earned it. So have fun with it. Navon.
Awesome. Yes, Navon. Don't date him, but use him. You know what I'm saying?
Don't date him. Yeah.
Okay, I want to talk about the Mr.Beast thing that just happened recently. God. I mean, it like honestly breaks my heart. I guess we'll start from the top. You want to explain it in like simple terms?
Yeah. So on background, we actually started looking into doing a segment on the podcast about medical tourism. And so we've been long interested in this whole kind of shadowy industry that doesn't get talked about enough, of people who travel to other countries to get medical procedures done, because often getting the same procedure done in America will be exponentially more expensive. Mm-hmm. So then Mr.Beast releases a video for background of where he took 1,000 people who had a form of blindness that's curable, and he paid for them to have their blindness cured.
He cured blindness, you guys. God. Well, he did, but like he's just getting so much hate. Okay, I'm sorry. Finish your story. Ugh.
Yeah. And then, so normally most people would just celebrate that, but there are so many, and maybe not so many, but there are enough miserable people in the world that they actually took the other side of the coin and they saw the negative in such a positive thing. And they started talking about ableism, how this is an affront and how able people are afforded all of the luxuries. And then they also started to frame it saying that, and this is the most insane thing, is someone asked, did you ask them that if they wanted to be cured? And to that, it's like, maybe we should just take the fact that they opted into the free procedure to see again.
They flew
as
there.
them consenting. Yes, they consented, you miserable.
It wasn't in their homes, you know, they
traveled to this
it.
place. Yeah. I would say that they opted into having blindness cured. Like, if
I've never even heard.
Yeah. If Jesus comes down to earth and just starts curing people, are we really going to go after Jesus and be like, listen, buddy, did you have them sign a consent form first?
They didn't want it. I just know it. Some random person like sitting at their desk in Nebraska being like, did you ask these people? It's just crazy. And it's sad. It's like, you know, he does do philanthropic things, but most of his videos are like him doing things with his money to get views. And like, he actually did something great and then he gets ripped on it. Instead of buying an island and like releasing a bunch of his friends out to like live in the wilderness, he helps cure like a form of blindness. And that's something we gotta criticize him for.
Because he may have made a little bit of money off of the YouTube ads that he did this. And even if he made a little bit of money or he broke even, like you said, he could do anything with that money. And he chose to do something good. He could have bought a few Teslas and crashed them with his friends. Like, you know, some of these other guys do all these crazy stunts where they break stuff.
Sounds fun.
No, he made 1,000 people's lives materially better. And the world just can't let the guy have a win. It's actually kind of sad and pathetic.
Yeah, it's a bummer. It's like, what level of success do you get to where people start hating when good things happen to you? Like, what is the threshold of, okay, people still think like I'm a good person? It's like you reach this money cap and it's like, they suck.
Yeah, I think the threshold is way lower than we think. I think that,
no.
I think basically if you have $100 in your pocket cash, someone hates you for that.
Oh God. Jesus. Regardless, like here at Travel Nerds, we support Mr.Beast. That was a big bummer that it turned into something like started so positive, turned into something so negative. But
we support Mr.Beast, and Mr.Beast has been on this kick about giving away $10,000. Now, this is a call to Mr.Beast. If Mr.Beast wants to give Connor Ann $10,000, and she will give it away to someone in need, and we'll surprise someone and do a crazy stunt. Mr. Beast, if you're one of our 111 subscribers, we're open to a collaboration.
Mr. Beast, if you're here listening with Rihanna, we are open to both of you coming on the pod.
Yeah, if you and Rihanna could just maybe do a little collab with us.
Yeah, a little collab, a little marketing for us. That would be great. Thanks. We could do a Fenty/Travel Nerds campaign.
I promise that if we get big because of the collaboration, that if you cured blindness, we'll fucking try to cure cancer. I mean, if you do it for us, we'll do it for you, Beast.
If that's how I get canceled, if that's how I go down, trying to cure something.
Yeah. Only in this era of the world can you be canceled for like trying to cure cancer.
Oh God, it's so fucked up.
Where does it end, right? So
where does it end? Yeah, I feel the same way. It's very funny. And today we're going to get into some conspiracy theories, which if you know me, I love them. If you don't know me, now you know. Conspiracies are my shit. Totally.
So today we're going to talk about the Denver airport, which is the world's most controversial airport, bar none, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the only airport that you ever really hear some like crazy nonsense about. Like airports don't really get a lot of news. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you want to get in them and get out of them.
Yeah, no one like spends time talking about an airport, but the Denver airport, it's a little fishy. Got some things going on over there.
It's actually a really good episode. It's packed with a lot of information and knowledge. Nothing new or groundbreaking here, but I feel like it's topical because there's the United States government has shot down multiple high altitude vehicles. And if there's ever a time to talk about extraterrestrials, which the Denver airport is linked to, I think now would be the time, because they're not even saying that these things that we're shooting down over over Canada and Michigan, they're not even calling them Chinese balloons anymore. They're just calling them like unidentified objects that posed a threat to civilian aircraft. And
That's so scary. sorry. They're not even like clarifying what it is. They're just like, yep. Or what you just said, a high altitude vehicle. Like, what a sick name for a UFO.
Yeah. And then Twitter has been going crazy that it's aliens, which is where I get most of my news from these days. So in the spirit of aliens possibly visiting us and us shooting them down over North American airspace, we now present you an episode on the Denver airport.
If you love a good conspiracy theory, today's episode is right up your alley. And well, if you know me, I get totally wrapped up in this stuff, even though most people think it's hokey and total nonsense, you know? Or is it? Today, we're covering the Denver International Airport and talking about all the spooky conspiracy theories revolving around, in, or under this crazy place. And obviously, look, the internet is a wild place. You can't believe everything you hear. But in doing research for this episode, I was completely enthralled in the secrets behind this airport, whether they are true or not, or anyways, we'll never know. So it doesn't help that even Denver airport officials are perfectly willing to fuel these crazy accusations of Illuminati bunkers and links to aliens, and it's doing this in its own advertising campaigns. So one of the airport's public information officers said, point blank, we decided a few years ago that rather than fight this and try and convince everybody that there's nothing going on, let's have some fun with it. That is a direct quote. So despite the DIA, which if you hear us say that, that's Denver International Airport, of course, playing jokes with its own sinister history, tons of people take these rumors seriously. So let's talk about it. And now, before we get into it, I just want to mention that a lot of conspiracy theories surrounding the New World Order or the Illuminati have like deep roots in anti-Semitism. And we just want to acknowledge that because we don't subscribe to that. But we're here to talk about the ridiculousness of the secrets that surround it. And if you've never heard of the New World Order, it's basically a shadowy elite force that's trying to implement a totalitarian world government. And I was researching to see if the Illuminati is referencing the same thing, like if they're synonymous. And I'm pretty sure the two go hand in hand. And I'm definitely willing to be wrong about this one, but the secretive and mysterious organizations seem to have the same intentions for total world domination and actually ties to the Freemasons. So let's talk Freemasons. And my only knowledge of the Freemasons is from Nicolas Cage in National Treasure. So I had to do my due diligence and give it a Google. They're a fraternal order that evolved from the guilds of stonemasons in the Middle Ages. The U.S. has a little Freemasons paranoia, we'll call it, because their secret guild has ties to the Illuminati, and any mysterious group trying to casually and secretly overthrow the government will likely cause a little conversation. So here's my little conspiracy theory chunk for the day, and then we'll have a little roundtable moment where my producers pick their favorite theories. Here's mine. There is a dedication stone, or I guess you could call it like a plaque, at the Denver airport acknowledging the founders and whatnot. And on that stone, etched right in the middle, is a Masonic symbol, the very one we've all seen in National Treasure. Yet when I saw the movie as a child, I certainly didn't think it had such a deep, dark, effed up history. So the stone was paid for by the two Freemason lodges located in Colorado. Fishy. And the stone also dedicates a thank you to the New World Airport Commission. Now, the freaky thing about that is that the New World Airport Commission doesn't actually exist, like anywhere. Spooky. And theorists note the stone's date as well. So if you add up the numbers and the date, you get 33 as a sum. Coincidentally, 33 is also the number that represents perfection and the highest degree in masonry you can hold among Freemasons. Ugh, that gives me the creeps. And there's more. Beneath this sneaky plaque is a time capsule set to be opened in 2094. I hate this. I hate this so much. A time capsule in general just like freaks me out. But it's said to contain coins, a signed opening day ball from Coors Field, some Blackhawk Casino tokens, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I bet you there's some weird shit in there that's far from a signed baseball. You know what I mean? So conspiracy theorists, or us for today, believe the capsule contains something a little more sinister that could be a part of like a New World Order plot, which is just absolutely crazy. What do you guys think about all this stuff?
So right off the bat, I have a real big beef with Nicolas Cage and all of the National Treasure movies. They're great movies.
No. Oh, you don't like Nick?
We don't need
I like Nick. I hate that he made the Freemasons into like a cuddly, nice organization. I super don't. This is one of the few conspiracy theories that like I let live rent free in the like I'm not going to shut this one down part of my brain, because anytime you have a secret society of all guys that are like you can't know anything until you're like sworn in, I don't trust them. So, anyways, no shade at Nick Cage. The man's a legend.
No, he is a national treasure, just so you know.
He
don't blame Nick.
I don't blame Nick. I blame the Masons for probably funding those movies. And the
oh my god!
No, it's a conspiracy. The Freemasons funded it to make them come across peachy and fun.
You can't prove I'm wrong, which means I'm right. That's my approach for today.
They wanted a little good free press. I guess not free, but good press.
Oh my gosh, you guys creeping me out. I got to put on my hat now. I'm like super like worried. Yeah.
For those of you that can't see Diana and you're just listening to this, she has a big wad of aluminum foil on her head.
And the rumor is that she's had this hat for 7 years. So this is not something that she created for the podcast.
And in 3 years, I'll be 33. What?
Oh.
What? Trippy numbers.
Numbers all making sense. I mean, if this had spooky music right over top of it, everyone would just believe everything. 33, Diana, tinfoil, New World Order, what? People show up at your house? Uh-oh.
I want to talk about Blucifer, affectionately called Blucifer because he's a big blue horse. He looks like one of the horses of death. Well, technically, it's like one of the four horsemen from the apocalypse. But where is his rider? Like, is he a lizard man? Is he, was he eaten by Blucifer? So anyways, in the Denver airport area, there's this giant statue. Actually, I'm going to have you guys guess how tall you think it is, unless you already know.
100 feet.
I was going to go... No, 100 feet is tall.
That's tall as shit.
I'm going to go 35 feet.
Okay.
I'm going to go 62 feet.
Wow. Okay, so this is 32 feet. So, Nathaniel, you were actually the closest.
That's the worst when people overshoot your guess and you're like, damn, couldn't you have just said 15 feet? It's 35.
All right. Now, this one, you can go a little bit bigger. I'm going to have you guys guess how many pounds this sculpture of this giant blue Mustang weighs. How many pounds?
2 tons.
What's it made out of?
Oh, good question.
Okay, so 2 tons. That's 2,000 pounds, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, good. That was I don't have to ask how many pounds are in a ton now. Me and my stupid American math. I'm going to go 1886. I'm trying to pick
American math. What were you doing over here? Using a different system?
So 1 U.S. ton is definitely 2,000 pounds. So just to throw that out there.
Oh.
Wait.
I'm going to go 6 tons. 6 tons.
Okay.
Damn.
All right, so the big reveal is it's actually 9,000 pounds. It's quite hefty.
Oh, that was close. 12,000 pounds. Yeah. I mean, if you think that the average curb weight of a car is like 4,000 or 5,000 pounds and this thing's like twice as big and tall as a car, it makes sense.
So this 9,000 pound, 32 foot tall blue horse Mustang has neon pink eyes, or I guess red. And it was created by the sculptor. He's actually pretty famous in the contemporary art world. He's done work for the Met and the Smithsonian museums. So he actually was commissioned in 1993 to make the sculpture called the Mustang. It took him 13 years to finish it. So basically in 2006, like from 1993 to 2006, like that was like when it was being constructed. But here's where things get weird. Okay, so while he was constructing it, there was a part of the horse that kind of fell off, and people say it either crushed him or impaled him. Some people say it like impaled his leg and he like bled out. Some people say it crushed him, which 9,000 pounds minus, whatever tonnage fell on him. Like, that's pretty crazy. It's really dark. So I wonder,
don't mean to laugh. Sorry, I wasn't laughing because he got crushed.
How dare you?
Oh my God, that's murdered by your own creation. That's effed
I know
up.
He's probably one of the first people to die of an art attack. So Sorry.
Oh my god.
I didn't get it at first. Oh, you're good. An art attack.
Oh my gosh.
I love that. What was his name?
So his name was Luis Jimenez, and basically his father worked in like the neon light industry in New Mexico, and so all the glowing eyes, not all two of the glowing eyes this horse has, are made with like LEDs that kind of like were a tribute to like his father's work. Anyways, like you can see like sculpting and installations kind of run in their family. Speaking of family, so after his death, like by his own horse sculpture, like his children apparently like helped finish it off, and like the airport, like who commissioned him, the DIA, they were like, yeah, let's put this up here to, I would assume honor his memory.
In your research, I want to know, did you figure out how to distinguish between an apocalypse horse and a normal horse statue? Because there's a lot of horse statues in this country, and I'm getting a little worried. Like, how many of them are secretly apocalypse statues, and how can I know, as a concerned citizen, the difference?
Oh, actually, that's easy. First of all, check for glowing eyes. Second of all, check for mysterious deaths surrounding the horse statue. Third, is it like large and veiny? Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
More
It's
veins
like,
equals more apocalypsy.
so that's all we got for this Mustang. That was supposed to be a symbol of the wild pioneer Western freedom of Denverites, Denvonians, Denver lizardmen.
Whoa, what is it?
Oh gosh. I'll have to look that up really quick.
Verinians. I feel like Denverites. Yeah, I feel like that's right.
Denver
dudes. Denver bros.
We just call them Denver bros. Girls, guys, whatever. Denver. There's a bunch of bros.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's Blucifer.
Thank you, Diana, for that Blucifer information. That's kind of scary. Number one, he's a murderer, and here he is just at the front of the airport welcoming everyone in. He's like the mascot.
For his chance to attack.
Yeah, seems like a dark choice. But so does everything surrounding this place. Kenny, what do you got for your favorite conspiracy theory?
Bring us up, Kenny.
Got it. So the story behind the purchasing of the land that Denver Airport currently sits on is equally as weird. Not lizard people weird, but weird. Now, I get most of this information from a TikTok combined with some news articles. So what comes out of my mouth next? Is it verified? No. Do I kind of believe it? Yeah, I do. So some guy on TikTok reported that his dad owned a majority of the land that the government purchased for building DIA. So back in the 80s, someone approached this guy who had a really large piece of farmland way east of Denver out in the middle of nowhere and offered $3 million for the land. And of course, the guy was a little befuddled. He's like, what do you want this land for? It's in the middle of nowhere. It's nothing. I'm 40 minutes into downtown Denver. And so he took his $3 million and moved along his way. And here's where the conspiracy gets good. It was a little bit weird that they chose so far out for such a major city to put this airport. It is a good 30 to 40 minute ride from downtown Denver, and it could have gotten a lot closer. Now, conspiracy theorists would say that they wanted to build this far out because they actually wanted to build underneath the Denver airport, and they needed the cover that a lot of space and distance gives you. There is another conspiracy that says that there is actually 100-mile tunnel from the Denver airport to NORAD.
100 miles?
100 miles, because NORAD is just outside of Colorado Springs, I believe. And basically what you need to know is, and we've touched on this a little bit, is there are a ton of tunnels, and even some people report entire buildings that are underground in Denver. And weirdly enough, there are still no residential homes around the Denver airport. What American city has a major airport and zero residential homes? Usually airports are really good for commerce. There's a lot of restaurants and houses, and there's stuff around airports. But Denver, if you look at it even today in 2023 and you see it on a map, there is not much around Denver airport. And so even the purchasing of the land is just a little shady. And anything out west that's in the middle of nowhere and shrouded in secrecy is already shady because it's known that we have like Area 51 and S4 and all these different places. So people think that there's a little bit of a link between Denver and all these other bases.
Something I want to touch on that I read that you just kind of talked about is that there are known to be as many as 6 underground levels below the ground floor of Denver International Airport. 6 levels completely that everybody actually knows about. And then also you're talking about how there's no residential homes and how there was like a building there before and they buried it and all this crazy stuff. The final budget for the airport was $3 billion more than they expected. $3 billion. That's insane. How do you casually spend that much?
And it took, I think it was 16 months or 24 months. The project ran too long, so it was a delayed opening. And then in addition, they fired a bunch of the crews. So they had a bunch of contractors. A project of this size, there's going to be tons of contractors and people coming in and out. But for this project, there were a bunch of firings, and conspiracy theorists will say that the firings happened because they didn't want anyone to have a full picture of what was going on. So they would cycle in and out crews. Now, this level of complexity sometimes befuddles me because the government can't do simple things right? Like the government couldn't get a bottle of water into Katrina, right? But then all of a sudden there are these masterminds that are coordinating all this, far off technology, and they're being so smart, but then delivering water or doing simple tasks like balancing the budget is way over their head. But so that would be the naysayer side of it. But it's very, very interesting. A lot of money, a lot of complexity, and then a lot of misdirection too. So one of the things that's underground is they have a entire baggage system that they built and deployed in underground tunnels, but it does not work. It's not being used today. And people defending the conspiracy theory of like, oh, of course, there's tunnels, but that's normal. One of the levels is the baggage system that we don't use. But what about the other levels? Like how many levels does one airport need?
I totally believe that we would have designed a baggage system that didn't work and spent the money to build it. And now it's just sitting there. Like that sounds very
believable.
On brand.
Wow.
Yeah. But
Misdirection.
I will say as soon as you get past like 2 levels under the airport, 2 or 3, I'm like, 6 is a lot of levels. Like 6 stories, you can do a lot with
a whole
6
building.
stories.
Jacuzzi
and with
room.
The footprint of the Denver airport. Like
Diana's like, there's a movie theater down there. There's a really nice gym.
It's a nice gym. It's Planet Fitness. It's really nice.
It's actually just a really nice facility for the world's elites.
So one of the weird things about the Denver airport too, Denver has a population of about 700, 800,000 people. So it's a big city, but not, one of our largest in America. Yet the Denver airport is the largest airport in the United States by area. It's 53 square miles. That's massive for
what?
And 53 square miles. It's way out there in the middle of nowhere, has tons of underground tunnels, and something fishy's going on.
I don't like it. I read all over the internet that they call it Area 52.
Oh, that's catchy.
Yeah,
I like that.
So I was thinking, if Travel Nerds doesn't work out, let's just make a cool conspiracy theory and go all in.
That's how we make Travel Nerds work out. All our episodes are now we're just putting conspiracy theories into the universe.
Next up, Janet Airlines and Area 51. Then after that, we're going space travel and what happened on the moon that day. We'll just keep rolling with weird conspiracy
We're just sci-fi now.
Theories.
Kenny, Google my net worth. What?
Let's do it. Connor and Waterman.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, no. Net worth. I would say, are we paying it? Oh
$4.
my God. Connor, your net worth is $5 million.
What?
Joking.
What?
Wait a second.
What?
Why,
You actually
why have
Googled
I been
that?
paying for lunch? Yeah, I swear. I'm on right now. Connor Ann Waterman net worth 2023. Net worth $5 million. Now, I've paid for lunch the last 5 times. I think you're going to have to get the check.
That's like
next
$1
time. You're worth
million
$5
a
mil.
lunch.
What the internet? I'm so poor.
Wait, I'm going to click on it.
It's her clone.
On it.
Her clone's getting her money.
When you click on it, then it says that you're only worth $800,000.
Oh, that's more accurate and still too much.
Meanwhile, I looked up my net worth and it said, it looks like there aren't many great matches for your search.
Oh,
So
Sad.
I'm still flying under the radar.
I feel pretty
I'm looking
fucking
up mine.
cool that it even
How would
popped
it
up.
know?
I was joking completely, but $5
$5
mil?
million.
We're gonna pretend it's $5 mil and not 800,000.
I definitely thought you were going with $5.
Either number for 26 years old is kind of legit.
Kenny's like,
I'm
either way,
expecting-
I'm paying you less now. Either way.
I'm expecting
Yeah, I was like,
donuts
wait a
at our
second.
next in-person meeting. And if you don't bring donuts, I'm going to be like, oh, wow,
Diamond encrusted.
$800,000 can't even afford a box of donuts. Wow.
Wow, can't even afford some Krispy Kreme. It's ridiculous.
Not even hot and ready. Come on. Hot and ready. Isn't that Krispy Kreme? That's hot and ready, right? Or is that pizza? Which one is Krispy Kreme? Someone help me.
gosh.
Dig me out of this hole. Hot donuts now?
It's pizza. Oh, it's both. Oh my gosh. It's Little Caesars and Krispy Kreme.
What? Hot and ready.
Marketing snafu.
Krispy Kreme is straight trash. That's a brand that needs to die.
On his
Unbelievable.
faces, we were like personally offended.
Straight trash.
I'm sorry you prefer the microwaved pre-frozen donuts of Dunkin', but I prefer a fresh donut right off the grill. Great.
Okay, we don't need to. No shots fired at Dunkin' Donuts. I love Dunkin'.
Do you want your donut well done?
Support our
Medium rare?
podcast.
Yeah. Krispy Kreme is never going to be a sponsor, but I am working on Altoids being a sponsor.
We
I
love
could use that.
Altoids on the pod.
Altoids is not a sponsor of Travel Nerds, but me, Connor, and Diana ate a whole box in about 23 minutes one time. So the people at Altoids, we'd love to have you.
But if
keep
I
Altoids in
needed
my
to do
car.
it in 23 seconds, I could. If I
Oh
had
my God, easily. Is there anything better than just binge eating like a box of Altoids? Cinnamon, wintergreen.
I don't think so.
anything you got, just give it to me.
Can you explain to me how
These
you
pill
have the
poppers.
perfect ad read Altoids hold? Like, it's like you've done it before. You're just like, not sponsored by Altoids. Yeah, you're ready.
Yeah, no, well, because I had to go to the store and me and Connor just decimated poor Diana's Altoids. And so I had to pick up Diana some boxes so I can replenish her
I
stash.
truly I didn't even know I was doing it. And then 5 minutes later, Kenny's like, I think I saw you put 21 of those in your mouth. Like, are you okay?
No, and then so you know that like phenomenon that happens when I yawn, then you'll yawn, and it also happens when people drink water. So if you guys are like going out to eat tonight or a restaurant, when you drink, notice if the person across from you also takes a sip of water. See how congruent that you are. But I found myself that I would reach for the Altoids, then Connor would reach. And I was like, oh, interesting. And then
Social
Connor
cues.
would reach, and I would just be like, reach over and just grab. I didn't even know I was doing it. Like she would just be like, open up. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, here we go.
It's like every
This is an
time you,
office skit.
yeah, it's like every time you ate one, I was like
The
jealous.
telephone.
I was like, oh, ooh, I already have
But I don't
17.
do just one.
I have 17
I
in my
always do
mouth,
two.
but I am jealous.
I do two. I do two at a time.
So you do two, Connor. Do you do one Altoid or two?
I go
Handfuls.
one at a time, dog, and then I bite it in half.
Oh,
like I make it
damn.
into like two little flying saucers. I'm one
Connor,
of those.
you have
wonder.
to double.
Yeah.
You have to double your enjoyment. And
So yeah, the Denver International Airport has a lot going on. A lot more conspiracy theories about that than well, dare I say, any other building like in America, it seems, after our research. But yeah, we're gonna go check it out soon on a little work trip, and we'll tell you guys all about it. But thanks for listening to our crazy, and we'll be back next week. Later, nerds.